So how did a wealthy, well-connected, straight-A high school valedictorian with 2 degrees from an Ivy League school get arrested for murder? Let's ask his friend, R.J. Martin, who lived with Luigi for a few months in Honolulu. All right, R.J., did this guy do drugs?
Absolutely none that I was aware of. We were roommates for about 6 months at Surf Break co-living. And the entire time that he lived at Surf Break, he was a great community member. He kind of followed by our values and our ethics to leave things better than you found them. He was always contributing, taking care of other people. And even after he moved out, he came and hung out and contributed to the community, spearheaded a book club. He and I became closer friends, working out, going to yoga classes, playing volleyball. He's the kind of guy who was doing his best to take care of himself despite having some severe back pain and a severe issue.
So he had the back pain, but was doing yoga and volleyball and messing around like that. Was this affecting his sex life?
So he was athletic as long as he could be. I know there were days and perhaps even a week at a time where he was bedridden. So he was doing what he could when he could. I couldn't comment about his sex life or, any of our roommates' sex life, just out of respect for their privacy.
I totally understand. So did he ever mention anything about the Unabomber or any other radical ideas?
So I mentioned one of the great ways he contributed to the Surf Break community was by spearheading a book club. And he presented a bunch of interesting books to read. I think we started with Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And a few texts in, I actually proposed that we read, it's kind of half joke, but read the Unabomber Manifesto. I always wanted to read it, but never got around to it. So that was my suggestion. We had a normal discussion, debate around it. Nothing that stood out at the time, no anger, no a special affinity towards it, just, thought-provoking discussion.
You suggested reading Ted Kaczynski's book. Why? Why were you interested in that?
I have an academic background, and I really enjoy reading just about anything, different perspectives, right, left, middle, progressive, things about ancients, the future, and wanted to understand a little bit more about what he wrote, why he wrote it, and maybe some historical context around that.
Okay, there's a lot of academic books. That's just interesting that tickled your fancy. Did you turn him on to the Unabomber? It sounds like it.
I wouldn't say I turned him on to it, but it was my selection for our book club.
Okay, because the manifesto that we got our hands on cites that quite often. Do you feel strange now that this guy who you lived 6 months with has now been picked up on murder charges?
I feel strange because he was a great friend, and I would consider him, a close friend, and that somebody who would assassinate somebody is completely incompatible with the person that I lived with, the person that I cooked meals with, the person that, was part of book club and other activities with. It's like 2 completely different human beings.
Yeah, that's why I asked you if he took drugs, because it looked like he snapped at some point and went haywire, but we'll see how it shakes out. RJ, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your insights about this disturbing story. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.